Now, I got a story for you, Mr. Irby. I don't know if I don't know if I've talked to you about this on a phone calls or before, but I would like to share it with the rest of my audience, and I want to get your opinion about this story and get what you feel about this.
Okay.
Um, as you know, guys, I've been in the SAP program for almost 2 years, and it's no fault of Mr. Irby's at all. It's actually the fault of my past employers. So I was doing my follow-ups with my last company. Everything was going to good. I don't know how many follow-ups I had left, but I think I did like two or three. I forgot at that time. I ended up leaving that company because, well, that company shut down. They closed. They shut the doors. Um, I switched over to a different company, Mr. Irby, and they said they couldn't get a hold of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
company to get verification that I took those 3 follow-ups, and I had to restart my
Yep.
entire follow-up process again. Do you think there should be a better, do you think there should be more data in the clearinghouse for even if I do a follow-up with another company? Like, they shouldn't have to call another, like my past company to get my follow-ups. Like, do you think there should be something better than this system than calling the last company?
Wow. Good question. There was talk back in 2020, the clearinghouse was going to, in about 2022, would have the database activated and updated where even follow-ups could be tracked from employer to employer. That hasn't, 2022 is obviously 2 years ago.
Yeah, that hasn't been done yet.
And we haven't heard anything. It must be pretty difficult for them to do it. However, for drivers, I suggest you keep track of all the follow-ups. Write down the dates, and if you keep receipts or even the results, keep the results. When you move to a different job, now you can display and prove to this new employer how many follow-ups were done, and the new employer will do the remaining amount. You really don't want to start from ground zero.
And the paper that you get when you take a drug test, that doesn't show results, it just shows that you take the drug test. I suggest
Right.
everybody keep that paper because it does say on there you did a follow-up.
Right.
Okay, and like Charles Irby said, receipt. That's kind of what it is.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to get at, Charles, I know I'm kind of rambling, is all those drug tests I took at my last company, they will show up on my clearinghouse. However, the data that the new company gets doesn't see those drug tests, those follow-ups. That I don't know why they can't make it transferable. It should be a super simple thing. Sorry.
Yes, it should be. And that's what they were talking about implementing back in 2020, and it hasn't came to fruition yet. And the deal is the drug tests you take, the follow-ups are not supposed to be downloaded or sent to the clearinghouse. Not at all. The employer is expected to just keep them in their drawer. And when they get to the last follow-up, they will enter in the date of that last one into employer entry number 6. So it's not like the driver takes a follow-up and the employer downloads it upload it up to the clearinghouse. No, they just keep them. The clearinghouse don't want them. They just want the date of the very last follow-up to close things out. So, and they expect the employer to keep track of them.
I'm actually glad you talked about that or explained it. I was wondering how that works. Like when I do my follow-ups, so say I finish all my follow-ups here, my company takes those follow-ups and do they upload it to the clearinghouse, or do they just, like you said, keep it in the file and then after?
They're supposed to keep it in the file. They're not, only if the clearinghouse asks for it, only the last follow-up. So if you've got prescribed 6, the minimum, that 6th follow-up is the main one that the clearinghouse is concerned with. And all they want to know is what the date is of that last follow-up. They don't want you to send in the results just so they can see negative. They don't care anything about that. They just want the date of that last follow-up. Now that leaves a big hole, a gaping, donut hole of, but that's none of our business. That's the goal.
I believe that there could be easier ways for this clearinghouse to work. They're making it a lot more complicated than it has to be, but it's above our pay grade, I guess.
Well, I guess it's a case of until we skin our knees up real good, then they will consider band-aids. but they won't buy any band-aids until they see some flesh on the pavement. So
Yeah.
until things get bad, then they make a move on something. But there's also something else, Brad. I need to tell you, when drivers go to a new job, the federal regulations says that the new employer contacts the old employer, and the old employer is obligated to pass on the return to duty letter with testing schedule and all the other SAP documents. But that is a problem in the industry. The old employer don't
Answer the phone.
Right, they don't give a rat's because he's not employed with me no more. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
They hang up the phone. I ain't playing this game with you. Or they just
No, like my company tried to call them several times. They tried to email, like nothing.
And this holds a lot of drivers back from advancing in their career with another company, because now they're in limbo. They're in the ether of of the universe. They got nowhere to go. They can't get this job and they can't go back to the old one because the old employer will not cooperate with the federal regulations. And this happens all the time. Well, I tried with me, Focus 7, we tried to solve this problem. The only other person federally regulated to hand out SAP letters and return to duty letters and etc. is me, the SAP. We're the only one that has authority to do it outside of an employer.
But you can't
do it for them.
You can't do the follow-ups though. That's the one thing.
No. Only employers or consortiums can do follow-up. And if it's a consortium, it's because you're an owner or operator and they took care of your case from the beginning. You just can't be a company driver, but I'm gonna just got my return to duty step 5 done. Now let me go to a consortium and let them handle all my follow-ups, but be a company driver. No. So it has to be a case of you go to a consortium, you just you're an owner or operator and you there for that. If you're a company driver, the company would do step 6.